Good afternoon. The anti-vaccination movement has begun to spread and has contributed to the return of eradicated diseases such as measles, mumps, chickenpox, and the whooping cough. The correlation between vaccinations and autism, the increasing number of individuals who are choosing not to vaccinate, and false information regarding vaccinations in the media are all leading to a weakened immunity within our country. There are many different reasons why individuals may choose not to vaccinate themselves or their children, but none of these reasons are supported enough by credible evidence to support the justification of exposing small children and individuals who are unable to be vaccinated to these deadly diseases. The relationship between vaccinations and autism spectrum disorder is the main argument that anti-vaxxers make when supporting their choice not to vaccinate. Many studies have been done on the main vaccine ingredient, thimerosal, and its relationship to the autism spectrum disorder. The Institute of Medicine conducted a scientific study on the relationship in 2004, and the study was able to discredit any correlation between the vaccination and the disorder. The Institute of Medicine conducted according to American Academy of Pediatrics and the U.S. Public Health Services, there is no epidemiological evidence that showed a relationship between thimerosal and autism. At the University of Sydney, Australia, there was an examination of 5 studies including 1.25 million children, proving zero correlation between the vaccinations and autism. The one study that was done by British doctor and surgeon Andrew Wakefield proved the relationship between vaccinations and autism was discredited, and his medical license was revoked for providing the public with false information regarding vaccinations. The vastly increasing number of individuals who are choosing not to vaccinate themselves and their children is leading to the eradication of herd immunity. Herd immunity is defined as a general immunity to a pathogen in a population based on the acquired immunity to it by a high proportion of members over time. Due to the accessibility of individuals to obtain a non-medical vaccine exemption form, the herd immunity rate is threatened, leading to overall weaker immunity against the eradicated diseases within communities. It may seem decently safe to have a small percentage in number of people unvaccinated within a country, but with those who are physically unable to be vaccinated added on to the number of people who are willingly choosing not to be vaccinated, these immunity rates become dangerously low. This was proven by Sahad Omar, a professor at Emory University, and a group of researchers in 2012. Unvaccinated children put individuals who are unable to be vaccinated for medical reasons or age restrictions at risk to those who choose not to be vaccinated but have the ability to. Babies are unable to receive a very important vaccinations before 2 months. If they were to come in contact with somebody who is willingly choosing not to be vaccinated, they could be in danger of catching a disease that could have been prevented by vaccination. The same goes for those who are unable to be vaccinated due to medical reasons. Those who are willing to choose not to vaccinate are putting themselves at risk due to one discredited scientific study, but are also putting other helpless individuals at risk. There are multiple factors that the culprits of the start of the anti-vaccination movement. There's the distrust in the U.S. government, the distrust in the U.S. government-supported scientific research, and the celebrity activism that have all dangerously contributed to the anti-vaccination movement. According to a recent study by Idaho State University, individuals who trust the government and its ability to eradicate these dangerous diseases are much more likely to vaccinate their children, whereas people who do not trust the government and its scientific research are more likely to not vaccinate their children. There are almost two whole generations who were not alive when diseases such as measles affected communities. These individuals who never experienced the devastation of these diseases are now the ones who are choosing not to vaccinate their children. Celebrity support of the anti-vaccination movement by people such as Jenny McCarthy that are supported by false research are greatly affecting the views of people and their decisions on vaccination. Jenny McCarthy made the statement, "Us moms aren't threatening autism, we are treating a vaccine injury. And when you treat the vaccine injury, the autism goes away, minimizes, or disappears." But this statement is completely invalid due to the fact that there is absolutely zero correlation between vaccination and autism, completely discrediting her statement. Because people are unwilling to do their research before choosing not to vaccinate their children, our community is now at a much greater risk to bringing back once eradicated diseases.
Well, let me start with a couple of things that I thought were pretty effective. I thought that you cited your evidence pretty clearly in the body of the speech. There's a good variety of information. There are a few places where I think there is not quite as specific information as you seem to believe there is. For instance, the Emory University data talks about the source of reasons why people might resist vaccinating, but it doesn't give us any data that tells us how big a threat is, how much more it's increased as a consequence of this. I didn't get any comparative data suggesting that anti-vaccination campaigns have altered this relationship. That we have more people who are suffering from these things because of a lack of vaccination than we had before these campaigns came along. That seems like it would be something that would be pretty simple. Like I said, I thought you had pretty good data on this, but there are one or two places where there are some slight holes or problems in the way the information is being utilized. A couple of things that I think are an issue. I'm not exactly sure what the proposition is. I know what the topic is. There's a general notion here that anti-vaccination campaigns are having a negative effect on vaccination rates. I'm saying, okay, if that's the claim, then the very first thing I should get is some information about vaccination rates, and I don't get any data on that. So I wasn't sure that that's really what the proposition was. There's not really a preview of the supporting points in the body of the speech. I did pick out some supporting claims. I'm going to paraphrase them because I didn't write them down completely. The first is that there's no autism link. The second is that herd immunity is disappearing. And the third is that there are a variety of factors that are resulting in people not getting immunized. And I guess that's really the structure of the speech. There is a preview of that third point and the things that you're going to develop on that third point. And I was just thinking that that should be the kind of thing that you have at the beginning of the speech so we would be able to follow the rest of the argument as well. Like I said, I think you kind of define and describe what the subject matter is. We know a little bit about the controversy of vaccinations, but I'm not sure there's any doubt that vaccinations make a difference. There's not really any doubt that the research on vaccines show them to be generally safe. The place where there is some doubt is whether or not the herd immunity has been affected, and the best that you've got there is a hypothetical example of an infant who isn't vaccinated could be exposed in this particular situation. Since they don't vaccinate the infants for the most part until a particular time period, it seems to me like they're always at risk in that situation. The question is, are they likely to come in contact with somebody who hasn't been vaccinated? And that's the link that I think is missing in the argument. You're rushing a little bit. I think that you need to make clearer claims. Like I said, there's the information that you present is clear, but I'm not always sure what inference you want us to draw from it. All right, thank you.